computer. Okay, hey everyone, Scott Jansen here, and welcome to another Therapy Maximizer student success story and interview. Today is really, really cool. I've been really excited for this one. We've got relationship specialist and specialist therapist of everybody, Maryke Bloom, on the line. So Maryke, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you very much.
Excellent. So Maryke's got a really good story, well, a really interesting story about her evolution from when we first met, man, only about 4 or 5 weeks ago now, to where Marika is right now. And not only her career, not even just herself, everything she's doing in her business has just absolutely skyrocketed. I mean, it's gone crazy. We get to chat every day, at least every other day, and the things she's telling me she's doing, the success she's had right out the gate has just absolutely floored me, even beyond my expectations. So I've been really looking forward to digging in deep into Marika's story, find out what she's doing, find out what she's specializing in, and realistically, finding out where she started to where she is now. I know everybody watching this is going to be really, really interested with this story. So Maryke, let's start from the start. Run me back, let's say 5, 6, maybe even 8 weeks ago. What was business like? Tell me about yourself and your background with your business and what you were doing.
Okay, so first of all, you know, I've specialized in relationship and psychosexual dysfunction specialism for a very long time now, but I found that I wasn't nearly as busy as I wanted to be, and I overworked myself and burnt out so badly as a result that I lost out financially, really, in a big way. So when I contacted you, I was in a lot of pain. I was frustrated as hell because things weren't going the way that I'd wanted them to go. Financially being in a bad space at that time, and so many other things just going weird and off kilter for me. And that's at that point when I had to really look at what did I need, and I realized I had the expertise, I had the mindset stuff, but I didn't know how the hell to run a business. I had no clue how to run a business properly. I had a little bit of dust sprinkled here and there from different people. But it wasn't enough to help me propel myself the way that I've been propelling myself now. I had no clue how to do marketing or sales. I hated the idea of having to do that. Really grinded my gears. I mean, it scared the crap out of me. People would tell me, "Oh, do lives." What do I do a live about? Hey, have you got erectile dysfunction?
Yes.
And I sat there and I don't know how to do this. I don't have confidence to do this. I don't want to do this. And I'd spent money on Facebook ads previously. I even started up a shop hoping that the shop would take off and would sell the products, because my products, you know how it goes. You're a hypnotist. You've got to do all these subliminal work. You know what you're doing, and your stuff is just great, but nobody buys it. Crickets.
Yes.
I launched the shop. Crickets.
Right.
I am pissed off, angry, frustrated, irritated. I think I went through the entire spectrum of emotions in quite literally 24 hours.
Got it. Now, at the time, what type of client were you trying to specialize with? What market were you trying to work with?
Well, that's just it. I was looking for anybody that had libido issues, that had relationship issues, that had anything in terms of sex and anything in terms of relationships, and I thought that was specializing and niching. I was wrong. Really, I was wrong. I think when I did your program, I realized, actually, wow, that was so much more powerful at what you taught us than what I'd initially thought was right. So I wasn't sending out the right messages to anybody. How the hell are people meant to work with me if I was so vague and so broad?
Okay.
I didn't, so at that time I was, kind of just trying to get people to come in that had relationship issues, that had sexual dysfunction, but that wasn't a good enough message.
Okay. And what were the services you were offering to potential clients, and price as well? What were you offering? Okay,
so I did try. I tried to do packages, which got a little bit uncomfortable and difficult because, depending on what's happening in terms of sexual dysfunction, for somebody with vaginismus, primary vaginismus would take a little bit longer than your secondary vaginismus would have taken, for example. Sexual erectile dysfunction, depending on what the psychological reasons were for the person to have the conditions. So I tried doing the packages, which got a little bit difficult. So I ended up kind of marketing them only to your relationship people. I ended up with 3, and it's been a while now that I didn't really bother pushing them because I felt that they weren't really doing any justice anyway. But the 3 packages that I had were up to, I think it was a year, if I can remember correctly now, it was about a year and I think 3 months long. The second one, I can't recall, it was about 6 months or 7 months. And then the smallest package I had was about 2 months. And that was twice a week that I had to work with a person or persons that chose the packages. And it was absolutely exhausting because they took up so much time.
Got it. And what were you doing at the time to get clientele? Like, what things were you doing to try and grow the business, to contact clients? Run me through like a day-to-day for you.
Okay, so I did the BNI thing, you know, the networking thing. I put myself onto obviously a bunch of websites like the Find a Hypnotist and all of that. I did the Facebook advert stuff, you know, hi, hello, I'm a hypnotist, let me sort out your problems, you know, that kind of thing. So the message was, again, very, very broad and general. And I then, like I said, launched the shop out of desperation. Once again, fraud, just by the way. Because, you know, we can fix everybody's issues and everything. That's what we think we can do. So anyway, and then it was crickets. I didn't know really what to do after that. I didn't know how to do market research. I didn't know how to you know, get an organic, you know, audience. So that was basically what I did.
Okay.
I'm so bad.
Had to start somewhere. So let's move forward a bit. So you were doing this for how long? How long were you trying to run this sort of business model?
Wow. 7, 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So just basically trying on a whim, like just guessing what to do, hoping it'd work, trying to get referrals, trying to hope that people would contact you, the website. And I think when we first talked, which I'll talk about in a minute, you got your website, you got your packages up, all random prices, no real takers, and just sort of cycling through for at least 8 years. Okay.
Yep. This was how I woke up every day.
Hope and pray marketing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah. Hope they come to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I think when we first chatted, this is one of the coolest stories. How did you find out about me, or what was it that made you contact me?
Oh, you're a clever man. So for some odd reason, I was sitting there, I had to be frustrated and saying to myself, I need to change. Now, I did hire a business coach many years before, but unfortunately, I wrecked my reputation because I didn't know at the time that this was actually really wrong. On LinkedIn, I just went, I got the advice to just on LinkedIn, you know, just add people, no problem, your newsletter. Whew. South Africans do not take kindly to that. They're very unhappy with me, wrecked my reputation as a result. So they grumbled and they swore at me. That was insane how much swearing happened in my emails. So anyway.
So you were adding people to your email list, correct? Yeah.
Yep.
Very bad.
Yeah.
Got it.
Bad move. Please, people, don't do that. That's stupid. Anyway, so I am sitting on Facebook, which I had kind of not really been looking at for a very long time. And I opened up Facebook and I was just kind of scrolling through a few things there, and I see one of your testimonials pop up on my page, and I go, I don't recall adding this guy. This is interesting. So I just kind of go and I click on it, and I see this woman said that she had upped her fee to $500 for a session. I sit there and my jaw drop and I go, oh, that's insane. That's impossible. How you're a hypnotherapist and you charging that much? No, that's insane. So I'm irritated. I'm sitting there going, I'm so burnt out And I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to see 8 clients a day. I don't want to have to go through all of that or try and do all this marketing, network marketing. I'm too burnt out, too tired for all of that stuff at this point, because I've just been through all of that. I don't want the 8 clients a day practice.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that at one point too, where I did have that amount of people, but I burnt out. So I couldn't be there for them because I couldn't be there for me. And that's when my practice started dying out.
Sure.
And I realized, okay, no, I would like to start working with a select group of people, and I'd like to just be able to charge $500 for a session. That would be so awesome, because less work, more money. And so I was like, ignored this message for a bit, but yes, I kept coming back to it. I kept like looking at it, and that's when I decided to quickly message you. Mm-hmm. And that's when our conversation started, and I told you a bit about what had happened and how I felt, and that I don't know where to go, and I'm really burnt out. I'm really fed up with what's happening at this point, but I know that I'm at a crossroads in my life where I need to make a solid decision now, and that I need to take action, that it's either that or I'm going to end up on the street.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And from what I recall in the message, you weren't too happy with me.
No, like, how dare you tell me that we can fix shit in one session? Like, who the fuck are you? You know.
Yeah.
Look, with my training with the Omni Hypnosis and so on, I know that a lot of my colleagues did do the 1 or 2 session stuff, and I think I've kind of bought into the analysis work where, when I started training in analysis, that nothing was done under 12 sessions. Nothing was done under 4 sessions. Nothing was done under 8 sessions, or whatever the case might be. And I think you kind of become conditioned to that. And I know for a fact that many of my Omni Hypnosis colleagues did sessions in 1 to 2 sessions, and they sorted out people's stuff big time. And I think that at that point I was like, okay, I'm going to be open to accept that, things can be sorted out in 1 or 2 sessions less. And I was very, very fortunate for a person that has never won anything in her life. I won training, which I was utterly so grateful to get. And we would, in that training, talk to resolve tons of crap in one session. And I've proven this over and over and over and over and over again. And I can't tell you that my entire life is in 5-6 weeks. It's just done a 360-degree turn for me.
Excellent. So, I mean, looking at it now, even, you're surprised at $500, but now you get to know the students a bit better. You realize $500, that's minimum. That's like the low. But for some hypnotists and therapists, they think never going to happen. You said that to me as well. You said there's no way in the world anyone's going to pay $500 for my service. Not going to happen. And I think at that point, I just sent you a thumbs up and go on about your way. And I think you messaged me a couple of hours later, jumped on a call.
Yep. I said to you said to me and there was a very interesting question that you had for me about, do I have access to the money? And I said to you, I hate when people say to me that, they'll try or they can't, because it's a distasteful thing to say to people. You said to me, you have a limited money belief there. And I went, damn it.
That's why that question's in there.
Yeah, absolutely. But after that, it was a couple of hours. We were talking for probably 15 minutes. And then you had to go on another call. And then I think after that, I said to you, please, just let's talk, because I was really at that point just,
And it's really interesting. And the reason we talk about finances, and even in the group and stuff, we really celebrate money and things like that. We celebrate you guys being successful. It's because we are conditioned as therapists, and we somehow have to do this really nobly. We're not allowed to charge. We're not allowed to talk about money, which is just ludicrous. But what talking about money with therapists is, it sets apart the people that will jump on the phone with me and say, Scott, I'll hustle like nobody else. I'll be your greatest student. I'll do this. When you see how successful I'm going to be, when can I start? Let's rock and roll. And I say, great, this is what it costs. And I've had people hang up on me. All this big talk about, how hard you're going to hustle. But as soon as you put money on the table, that's when people's backs straighten up and they look for ways out of it. So it really separates the time wasters and the people that are really, really serious. And it's the same thing with clientele as well, as you found out. So to see that, you know, we had one of the students charging $500. Now, you know, there's students charging $1,500, $2,500, $10,000 packages, and they're crushing it. What was it like for you? What was the mindset thing you had, or the conversation in your head that said, well, I'm charging this much and this person's charging 500. Like, what the hell is going on? What was that like for you?
Painful.
Mm-hmm.
The sitting there, I think, just going, this is it. This is either make or break.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I'm meant to do this work because it's my passion. I've spent millions in South African rands to get trained,
mm-hmm.
because I train overseas. I train internationally.
Mm-hmm.
I invest in myself to be able to do all this work.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, you know what? I know that the work that I've done for people has been tremendously powerful for them, and it's been tremendously powerful for me too. But do I really want to go and sit in a secretarial job? Mm-hmm. Do I honestly want to get hired at, and I kid you not, this is what we get paid in South Africa, the equivalent of, I'm just working it out, the currency conversion in my mind quickly, probably Australian dollar, you are looking at $1,000 if you're lucky a month.
Wow.
That's before tax.
Wow.
That's what a secretarial job gets, you know, that's what you get paid. And I thought to myself, do I really want to go and do that? Do I honestly want to give up on my dream?
Mm-hmm.
Do I honestly want to go and sit and go and answer phones and make my boss rich?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to fail? Like,
mm-hmm.
seriously, this is now at the same time to be scared of failing. Actually, that was when it became very positive for me. That was the only time when the fear of failure was really positive for me, was, oh, fuck, I cannot fail.
Mm.
So what do I need? And I really, and at that moment, I just realized I know how to do my work. What I don't know is how to market myself. What I don't know is to run a business. What I don't know is how to do sales. I need someone to teach me those things.
Mm.
And I looked at different coaches. I really did.
Yeah.
And when you and I spoke, I was like, I really need this guy.
Mm. So what was different? What was different than what I was saying compared to the other coaches? What was the...
You would hold my hand.
Okay.
You were willing to hold my hand. You were willing to teach me how to get clients organically.
Mm-hmm.
You were against we were talking, I remember we were talking because I said to you, having to build a list is grinding my gears. I've tried the list building thing. It is a horrible experience for me having to do that,
mm-hmm.
because everybody says your money is in your list. Yeah, probably. Mm-hmm. For those of you that's got some products and you've got a 20,000 following list, but for me that's got to build it. Okay, I've got shamefully 25 people on my list.
There's no money there.
There's no money there. For me to have to go and sit and build that, you know, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to go and sit and have to build that list. And when you said to me that you could teach me how to use Facebook organically, I would have to give up a few things in order to do that. And I was willing, so willing to follow your process, because I knew that I needed to do that. And I said to you, I need you to hold my hand because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And you said you would. And if it wasn't for the fact that you would hold my hand and that you would help me get through this, then I probably would not have signed up, because I need your expertise. Mm-hmm. Like my clients need me for my expertise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really important because I understand. I've been a therapist myself. You know, I still class myself as one. I know we're great at therapy, but for the high majority of us, we suck at business. We suck at it because all our time and effort is to wanting to help people, but we don't know how to help ourselves. We wouldn't know the first thing about getting clients, and that's what this program is about.
Absolutely. And that's another thing that scored points with me, was the fact that you'd been in this industry for so long, that you had been and you've done and you've figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I thought to myself, yes, how am I going to be able to pay for advertising and building a list and still have to pay that as well. And you said you could help me grow it organically, and you have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, you needed to shove your boot up my ass a few times.
Mm-hmm. It's part of the handle.
But absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Running a business, you need to. You know, I wouldn't say. It's difficult to build a business because I believe it's a belief. You know, there's this thing that people say it's hard out there. I've stopped buying into these beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that all it is you need to let go of the fear of being rejected, let go of the fear of people wanting to swear at you, because when you do a reach out,
Mm-hmm.
some people are going to say to you, you know, why the fuck are you reaching out to me? You do me a solid and piss off.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be able to just go, well, you know, take care of yourself, because funnily enough, the guy that you pissed off is the guy that's going to come back to you.
Mm-hmm. It's always the case. It's always the case. It's really about consistency. I don't care what someone's goals are. It's about sticking to it no matter what. The only way you can fail is to not do it. You know, I've said that many times on this program. So you got enrolled into the program. You went through the first couple of weeks. What was in comparison to what you were doing before and what you thought would work and what you'd been told that was going to work for you? What were you thinking at the time during the program? What was the difference?
In terms of the previous stuff that I was doing, okay, so every day, Scott, you know, we had homework to do. Mm-hmm. Whereas previously I didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. So for me, the difference was that I had action steps to perform every day. I knew what I needed to do. Mm-hmm. Some of them weren't easy, but mm-hmm. I got through them. Mm-hmm. I didn't die. I'm still here.
Although you thought you would, but you were still here. Yeah.
Yeah. So the action steps was really profoundly powerful for me. You pushed my buttons a lot. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing was when I realized that I really had a poverty mindset. Mm-hmm. I think when I realized what the poverty mindset was and I could resolve that, great. Mm-hmm. So you threw together the mindset stuff and the business stuff, which every single day pushed me beyond my limits. I had to do different things, and it really made me see and change my perspective about a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. In terms of business. Mm-hmm. You know, and I keep track I properly keep track of my books. I properly keep track of what I do every minute of every day, because I want to see what works. And that's because of you, mm-hmm. which I never used to do.
No one does. I track everything. I track my sleep. I track what I eat. I track everything, because then I can fix it.
Yes, and you can see what works. I track the amount of time I spend on creating posts, mm-hmm. and I track the amount of people that have commented on that post. Mm-hmm. The engagement on that, because I want to see what is it that drew their attention. I'll even ask them afterwards, so what is it about the post that struck your attention? Mm-hmm. Because I want to know. I want to go and recreate that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes all the guesswork out of it. And I remember, it's not even just you, it's what everyone says. They want predictability in a business. If you want predictability, you've got to come at this like a scientist. A scientist will analyze the data, will track everything, understands that different conditions will lead to different results. So they try and maintain a single condition, which is what I tell you guys to do. One thing. Pick one thing, which we'll get to in a moment. I can't wait to hear about what you're actually doing with the business itself. But by tracking things and keeping a vigilant look on everything you can get the most out of your own performance in business and the most out of your own performance in life as well. I mean, otherwise you're just guessing. And guessing leads to where you were before.
Yes, guessing and generalizing. If you're going to just be a GP, mm-hmm. you know, your message has to be clear. Mm-hmm. You know, you need to speak to the pain of the people. You know, what is it that they're struggling with? Because that's what caught my attention. I remember saying to you, oh my word, your website was written right directly for me.
Yeah, I remember you said yes.
Because I was like, yes.
That's me. That's me.
Yep. That's me. I'm like, are you stalking me? Because that's me.
Yeah. It's because I know you guys so well, because I've been there and I had to sort this out, and I understand the market so well, and It is the same thing for your people. So you're through the program now. You've gone through, the first couple of weeks. You're starting to get ideas together. You're hitting you've gone through the how do I position myself, the messaging, the pricing, the packaging, all that sort of stuff, then the mindset, then the sales. And now you're getting into like all the organic stuff of how to grow your business. Let's talk about what you decided to build. This I can't wait to hear. What's this? First of all, tell me about who you're marketing for, first off. Okay, who's your ideal client and what are you providing? What's the solution and the problem that you're solving for these people?
Okay, so my ideal market is the single individual that has a string of bad relationships behind them, that just cannot settle down, that just cannot find that one person. So my work is to help them to release those old patterns, because it's usually because of commitment issues, or it's unmet needs that they've got so many relationships, so they keep choosing people that are wrong for them, that treats them well. Not the person's not necessarily a bad person, but they bring out the worst in each other. Your bell just doesn't get rung by this person anyway. And what I've done is I've realized that there was unmet needs that is causing these people to go and choose these partners that are wrong for them. And by helping them in 1 or 2 sessions to go and release all of those old patterns, they started choosing individuals that would prove to them that they are worthy, that they are lovable, that they are great, and they would bring the best out of them, and they would bring out the best out of that person.
Excellent.
Now, this didn't just affect them in the relationship aspect, but this affected them in their friendships. This reflected even in their own businesses, and even in terms of their job. So they would all of a sudden start getting raises, or they would all of a sudden start getting better clients, because we went and we cleaned out all those unmet needs: fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough, self-worth, self-love, all of that in a session or 2. So those are the guys that I work with.
Okay. So you've got your market. What's your service? How are you serving these people? What's your delivery? What have you put together? Is it just singles? Is it packages? What are you doing?
Well, currently I am doing a one-to-one work, but something kind of pushed me that I wanted to do like a group thing. So I recently launched my beta group, which is working with some individuals that has got those issues that would like to get through that. And I'm doing a 4-week thing now, and I'm just for now charging $250 for it, because what I wanted testimonials, and secondly, I wanted to see what's going to happen. What do I need to improve on this? The next group is going to be charged $2,500 for the 4 weeks.
Beautiful.
So because I realized that there's a hell of a lot of power in that work.
Now, I remember when we first talked and I got to look at your website, and you had 3 different packages. Each description of the package was about 5 pages long. There was no real structure. I couldn't even follow the pricing and all that sort of stuff. But look, it was a great attempt for what it was. Can you see now, knowing that you had people sign up to this package like instantly? You launched it and I followed it and people signed up, which for any program first getting out of the market brand new, just to get that is beyond magnificent. Okay. Can you see the difference as to why this program is selling in contrast to the other 3 or 4, even 5 that you had at that time? What a big difference.
It's a massive difference. I'm so afraid. I'm so ashamed about it.
Yeah. You probably had the mindset like a lot of us. We think, okay, if I offer plenty of things, I can target everybody. I can target this person, this group, and I'm just going to put it all together. I'm going to give it a fancy name so it stands out. I'm going to do all of these things, but at the same time, it just becomes an absolute mess. Okay. So what's different in the package now? Like, you've streamlined this. This is just really, really simple to follow. Tell me about the package itself. Run me through like the weeks and stuff like that.
Well, it's going to be once a week. We're going to be meeting for about an hour to an hour and a half, just depending. And in that time, what I've done is I'm actually creating a little worksheet for them so that they can There's a few questions on there, very, very simple, very straightforward. No need to go all fluffy and pink and glittery. That just states what is their intention for each. What is it that they want to get out of this package with me? Because what I've done in one session, I've now broken up to do in the 4 weeks, so that they've got that little bit of support in between. There's a little group that I've created, but it's so straight, simple. All I'm going to be doing is guiding them through a process that's going to help them to release the fear of rejections, the commitment issues that they've got, and to rebuild up them from the foundations, to create safety and security within them, and to know that they are worthy of whatever the outcome is, of their new lover, of their, fulfilled sexuality, all of whatever it is. It's so straightforward and so simple, and that's all I'm going to be doing in that package. There's no extra fluff or anything like that. There's no homework in between. Because I think we kind of get caught up in we need to do homework in between thing for the work to really set in. Not really, no. If you've cleaned out properly and you've done what you need to do, there's no need for the homework. I think too many of us don't have, I'm frustrated because if I have to do homework every single day for 5 months, and I have to do, people just don't have the time for this anymore. So I've tried to keep this as plain and simple. I just want to know, what is it that you want out of this? And let's create that.
Done.
Like that.
Now, if you look at the contrast of your 4-week package that you have now in comparison to the 12-month package you had before, and you were probably giving away the same service in 12 months as you are now in a month.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a huge thing. I'm not going to get burnt out by that, and, also, like I said, it just saves so much time for them, saves time for me to focus on what is important, which is to build and carry on. So I've gotten rid of the belief that you have to bombard people with every single day 20-minute videos in order for them to heal, and they have to do an entire manual of homework every day in order for them to heal. I've gotten over that because I realized that is a belief that I held, that was taught by someone else that had that same belief, and I realized that I don't want to buy into that belief anymore. You don't need all that 12 months of support, 12 months of work, 12 months of whatever. Things can be done in a shorter period of time.
Yep, and it's been proven time and time again. It's like we run into we have our value equation pointing in the wrong direction. We think in order to, I really harp on about you guys, get the prices up, and that's what you've done straight away, which is awesome. But then we go into that mindset of, well, in order to get my price up, I need to add more things to the program. I need to add more to the session, more time, more homework, more audios, more videos. So when I said to you, no, it's the other way around, you bring the price up and you lower the time of the program. What was that like for you in comparison to the 12-month thing you had before?
That was scary. Because, with the coaching background, all of that we taught, you need to sell packages and you need to give as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, oh no, man, this is bullshit. But I soon found out that when I said to people, you'll need one session, they were, oh, thank goodness. I had this one woman say to me, she went, I'm so relieved to hear that you say I need one session, because I'm honestly going to tell you, I've just been doing 12 months of coaching with somebody else, and it was based on, emotional intelligence. It was 12 months, and it was just exhausting having to go and do all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And she was really miserable about that. She said to me, she was actually praying. She's very, very religious. So she said, I was praying to God the other day saying, God, can you just not send me someone that can do this in one session?
And look who came along.
And I came along, and when I told her my fee, she went, you know what, I'd rather buy from, so in South Africa, for example, she compared me to a boutique instead of like your shop. She said, your fee is that which you would charge, she said, this is it. I can buy a pair of Italian boots, all right, and I can pay $1,000 for them, and I know they'll last forever, or I can go and spend like, you know, $1,000 on 50 pairs of shoes and they'll last me 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she compared me to. And she said,
Mm-hmm.
you're the Italian boots that's going to last a lifetime.
There you go. The reason it's important as well for you guys to get your price up, it puts you on the spot like, shit, I better work this out quickly. I better make this program so goddamn good and precise and transformational because I have no wiggle room. That's the science behind it. That's the mad thinking behind it. When you put yourself on the spot to think, shit, I've only got 45 minutes with this person. They better quit smoking by the end of it or overcome this or overcome that. You have to make it work. But most therapists say, well, I've got 20 sessions to do it. I'll just sit back, take my time. I've got 12 months to do my package. It's a long-winded way to get to the same result, if you even get there, because clients drop out, people get bored, people don't have time, and your reputation goes nowhere. That's why speedy results for a high price. It's the boutique thing. We are the Italian boots of therapists.
Absolutely.
Like that.
And when you look at parents, a mom, right, that's at home, you know, she's got to find a babysitter to take care of her child. How the hell is she going to do that for 12 sessions every week? And I this has put me on the spot to take my integrity is on the line. My integrity is on the line. I want the best for my clients. I always do, and I will always give them 1,000%. But you know, I don't have that wiggle room any longer where I can just go, oh yeah, you know, we'll keep working at it. Now I've had to cut out the unnecessary fat. I've had to, like you say, streamline my work because I've got 1 or 2 sessions. I don't do packages per se with, you know, where I sell full packages one-on-one anymore. I'm doing the group and packages. But for individuals, it's a one-on-one. It's either 1 or 2 sessions. And I have this really major integrity thing there. And I thank that to my training as well with Martin, because he's also gotten that into us. Integrity. What is your intention for your client? Make sure that your intention is 100% clear. Because you know, and I said to him, this is very interesting because this comes in like, do unto others what you want them to do unto you. And I would like my therapist to be able to solve my stuff in 1 session. And I know that I'm going to walk out of there, you know, great. We had a discussion about it the other day in our group. I said I was willing to, if Martin had told me that he could solve all my physical pain, my emotional pain, everything in 1 session, I would have gladly forked out £1,000 for that. Gladly. Out of big steel and borrow that money. I would have. Because, and I know that he lives up to his reputation, and so do I. You know, and this is why we charge what we charge. Because we live up to those expectations.
Yeah. So before, when you were doing one-on-one stuff, how much were you charging? Before you started the Therapy Maximizer program, how much were you charging?
So when I started with you, it was about $75.
Yep.
Okay. And my session could go easily into 2 to 3 hours.
Okay. And now?
Now I charge $550, and it's an hour and a half. One of the processes that I do use is a little bit longer, so it can go into 2 hours. It depends. But that's when I had a serious rethink about, I'm going to, after I've gotten some more testimonials, I'm raising the fee to about $1,000 per person then.
Now, if I would have told you could do that at the very start before you started the program, and I said you could be charging $1,000, you wouldn't have believed me. No way in the world. You said 75 was your max. You even told me that people in your area are doing 75. How can I do more?
Oh, yeah. I know. You got me really going, but you can work anywhere and everywhere that you want. So when I broke free from that limitation of I'm stuck in this area, I'm stuck in this place, my world opened up for me.
Yeah, I think that's when it clicked for you, because I remember you messaging that, and that's when the fire of motivation hit you, because that's when I see you doing massive long days, massive long hours, just getting the stuff out there, and it's paying off. So what, as far as the training itself, what's been the most profound thing for you?
I think that I learned that I actually do love doing marketing, that I learned that I actually do love, I used to be so scared of getting on the phone with people. There was this huge doubt with me that, oh shit, how am I going to swing this? How am I going to get this person to see my value? which is my biggest mistake because I needed to see my value first.
Mm-hmm.
My client needed to see my value. My client would see my value because I saw my own value.
Mm-hmm. And
since you kind of helped me to get through all of that and burst through all those limitations and the little boxes that I put myself into, my clients don't even think about signing up any longer. They don't, they don't think about, oh shit, this is money, shit, I can't. They trust me to know that I will sort out their shit in one session. They trust me that I will give them the absolute best. And so the sales process, the getting on the phone, chatting with them has become so much fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
I actually still do run marketing research. I will always probably end up running marketing research where every week I'm like sending a call out. Will somebody else please? I'm doing some research. I need some more people's intake.
Mm-hmm.
I will probably keep doing that every single month for the rest of my life now because it's fun for me. Yeah, it is. It's you need to do that because you need to know what your client and your audience needs.
Mm-hmm.
The most profound was when you told me, get out of the therapist's head and get into the client's head.
Mm-hmm.
Become a client. What is it that you that was one of the most profound things for me as well. I think that's when I shifted over. Knowing that, okay, what would I be willing to pay as a person that's in severe pain? Secondly, knowing what my clients needed. All of those things were very, very powerful for me in my business.
Mm-hmm. So what did you find out about your market that you didn't know? Because those interviews or tell you guys to do constantly are so powerful. What did you find out?
Wow. Well, there's a few things that I found out about my market. It's the language use that I never really thought of. And I suppose that one of the other things that I realized is that people appreciated that I was doing the market research. That was the strangest thing because I actually got thanked for it.
Mm-hmm.
That was so weird for me. Was I had every single person I'd done the market research was like, "Thank you for doing this."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "No, thank you, because you're doing me a favor." But they felt for a change that, I was really, making an effort to spend time with them to hear what it is that they're struggling with. And I think that made them feel valued.
Mm-hmm. And you weren't pitching them.
Yeah, I wasn't. They would, somebody reached out to me the other day trying to do the same thing with me, doing market research, but I realized that they were trying to pitch me.
Mm-hmm.
But I quickly kind of shut that down. But they loved the fact that I was reaching out and wanting to really hear what it is that they're struggling with. And they don't, not pitching them. That's another thing is people don't like being pitched at, and I don't force people into my programs. I don't. Mm-hmm. If I feel that they're not ready, I'm not going to give them the offer. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that is very powerful for me as an individual, as a coach, as a hypnotist, and so on.
And it was the same thing that really got you over the line, believe it or not. It was the fact that you had said to me, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I still doubt you a bit, Scott, but I'm willing to just try something. That's usually a good indication that someone is willing enough. The people that I turn away, and I do this regularly, if I get 10 phone calls in a day, 7 people aren't getting through. They're the ones that say, Scott, I'm so profitable. I'll hustle. I'll be your best student. I'll do this. I'll do that. We don't need those big-headed people in this program. And it's the same thing with your clients. What's funny is I got a message from, I forgot who it is now, one of the students anyway, doing one of these market researches. And he said he's sitting there, he's going through the questions. He actually went and had a coffee with this lady, doing the research questions. Said it took about 5 or 10 minutes. And he said by the end of it, the lady I was speaking to just broke down in front of me. And he thought, shit, what am I going to do? And he said she reached into her handbag, pulled out her wallet, pulled out $1,000, all 50s, and said, I want to book you in now, fix me. And he messaged me saying, Scott, I don't even have a program. I don't know what to do the sessions. I don't know what I'm doing as far as how do I book her in? What's my process? What do I do? He goes, but I've got the money now. And I said, well, you better figure it out. She's coming in a couple of days, figure it out. That's the value of people being heard because they're not being pitched to. So it just shows you, how important those market things are. You have people genuinely be listened to. Now, even if they don't buy on the spot, which is not what we're doing, we're just getting research. When it comes to the time of them saying, you know what, I need help, Marike's front of mind, because she listened to me. I don't have to do the research to find who I remember who she is.
Absolutely. You're just kind of jogging my memory here. So I'm not going to mention names, but there's this one group of people out there that I don't want to give away too much information on that. I don't want to, because it was my experience was with just this one guy. He contacts me. And I thought to myself, you are so wet behind the ears, kid. You don't know who the hell you're dealing with right now. He contacts me, and I first think that he's trying to make an appointment to do like one of the 40-minute interviews to see, do the market research with me. And it turns out that he's actually trying to sell me a program. So I say to him, listen, I just want to clarify, what is it that you're trying to do? And he says to me, well, I can help you. I say to him, you can help me. Okay. The thing is, though, is I've already got help, because he says, I can help you with your sales. And I said to him, first mistake was you assumed I need help with my sales. Second mistake that you made was that you don't have a relationship with me. Third mistake that you made was you got cocky with me when I told you that I'm still in a lot of deep training. I don't have time to work with another person. I've already got a brilliant business coach that's teaching me sales, how to close, and how to market myself. And I just cannot at this point put anything else on my shoulders at this point. My fork is overloaded. He goes and he tries and he does this pitch with me. So what is stopping you from getting more clients? At which point I go, I feel unheard. You're not listening to me. That is a shitty move. I'm going to be honest with you now. I would never ever hire you to do any sales with me. I would never ever hire you to teach me, because you do not listen to your clients. You don't listen to the people that you're talking to, which tells me that you don't care about me. You only care about yourself.
Now, had he called you 5 weeks ago, you probably would have fallen for it because you were desperate.
Well, probably. I would have, probably 5 weeks ago, I would have fallen for that. But I would have probably ended up regretting that so massively.
Yeah, because he's only solving one thing. Sales is just part of the machine.
Absolutely.
Market research is the machine. The sales, the organic outreach, the running the system, the running the business, keeping yourself in check with your mindset. That's all part of the running machine. And I think this is a good representation of what a good program that you're doing, is. It solves a real problem, not just a part of it. And it's the same thing, the solution we give to our face-to-face clients. We're not even just aiming just to fix the one thing they want to come in with. We're hoping that it leads on to bigger breakthroughs weeks and months down the track. And that's why, again, we can charge so highly. So 6 months from now, what do you want to be doing? Where's this program going to be? What's it going to be happening with it all?
So 6 months from now, I really honestly see myself actually mainly just doing groups. So the plan for me is that I would like to, and obviously the once in a while one-on-one with somebody that I really know needs that help. But I'd like to just move over to the group work in total. I would like to run about 2 to 3 groups a week. I'll need to sacrifice different time zones, which I'm really happy to do. I don't mind at all, because I want to make sure that people in the States can be covered. I'd like to see the Australians on this group program as well, and obviously the South Africans and the people in Europe and so on. So my plan is to really take this and run with the group work, doing the 4-week program, and then just offer if I really see somebody has major issues, major trauma, then what I'll do is I'll offer them the one session session. To put it that way. So 6 months from now, I would love to, my aim is to have about 10-20 people on the program, on each of them, minimum. So and I can see that happening. I can honestly see that people will see the value of what I'm offering, and they'll definitely sign up.
Yeah, you've done the hard work once. People don't realize that once you do something once and it resonates with your market, you just have to repeat it. Where we run into issues is we try and add things to it. We try and change the environment. We try and change the experiment. When the experiment works and you get the outcome, you just repeat it. And as I was talking to one of the students today, you repeat it as much to the extent of as much money as you want to make and as much clientele. It wouldn't surprise me if you're running that same program 5 years from now, but it's probably just got better and shorter, but a lot more expensive and more profound in transformation because you've now got the experience to back it up.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to be an interesting journey. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I look forward to that. 6 months from now, I look forward to, and the thing is I want to go travel, you know, so the plan is to go travel and do these things from where I am. You know, I can absolutely see myself sitting on the beach in Bali somewhere, you know, running my group from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. I love
So
it.
that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say to people that are hesitating with learning how to run their business, and even for this program, what do you say to those people?
Oh my word! Don't you know what? Don't hesitate. Just sign up. Sign up as Scott Jansen. Okay, please just sign up because yes, it's you know what? You're going to be working. You know, this is not an overnight success thing. You do work, but in the end of the day, you're going to feel so much more accomplished. For those that's hesitating, it's okay to hesitate, but I think that there's enough proof to show that when you do put in the work that you can do this, that you can have the practice that you want, that you can have the business that you want. And I think also the hesitation comes in because you're not trusting yourself to do the work. And don't worry about that. That will come. You know, there's plenty of people out there that will help you get over that. And also with mindset stuff, you'll be able to get over that easily. It's yeah.
Okay.
And I think what's nice is that we've got a group where we can just go, oh, this is horrible. This went horrible. And everybody's just very supportive.
Yeah, in the Facebook group. So what would you say, words of wisdom for the other students who are going to be watching this? They've been hounding me to get you on the line and get you on an interview. What have you got to say for them?
Push through, guys. Push through. Like really, you know what? If you still haven't made money, if you still haven't done the sales, and this is from experience, do some self-work or get somebody that can help you, guide you through whatever it is that you're struggling with, because I know that there are situations where we struggle. We have a fear of being rejected. We have a fear of failing or succeeding or whatever the case might be. You can get through that. There are people that's done it. I've done it, certainly done it. And I promise you, I've sat many times in the bathroom crying my eyes out. Okay, what's helped was that, you know, I gave myself an option. I said to myself, you can either fail or you can succeed. And I chose to succeed. And I don't care what I need to do to get there. I am busting my ass. I'm giving up sleep. I'm giving up partying. Weekends. I'm running workshops on weekends. Because for now I'm giving up those things, because I know that in the long term I'll end up having a business that I don't, that can run itself. I know that in the end of the day I'll end up being able to go and travel and do the things that I want to do. So don't allow those fears and so on to creep in and to stop you from taking action. Take action.
It's a lot of it. It's a lot of sacrifice right at the start, but you're in the momentum building phase. You're pushing the stone uphill, and whatever it takes for you to push and push, when you get to the peak of this hill or this mountain at the other end, it's all the momentum to follow you. And it's funny to have people that I speak to and other therapists that I know and colleagues and people in the industry that the thought of giving up a weekend to run a business is just ludicrous. They look at me like I'm crazy for even mentioning it. Business isn't always about what you add to it. It's about what you can sacrifice. If you can't sacrifice 3-4 months out of your entire business career just to get momentum up, it's never going to work for you. You may as well rip up your certificates. You may as well close the door in your office, lock it, and go work for Uber or something like that, because you don't have what's cut.
Absolutely. And this is just it. I've sacrificed a lot. I've sacrificed a lot of my time to get my certifications. Sacrificed a lot of money, and do I really want all of that to go to waste? Because this is my passion and this is where I know I shine. And do I want to be mediocre? No, I don't want to be mediocre. I finally realized that I want to embody the person that I want my clients to become as well. And I have. I've started embodying that, because if whatever's good for them is good for me too, right?
Yep.
And I find all too many therapists don't do their own work, or they don't pay another therapist to help them get through whatever blocks it is that they're experiencing. And I've surrounded myself. I started surrounding myself with people with the right mindset. I have my own weekly sessions, and I work on myself. I at times when I was doubtful and I told you, Scott, fuck, I don't know what to do here, you would say to me, just do it. Just stop with excuses and fucking do it. Okay? And that is what I appreciated. Because I don't want mollycoddling. Mollycoddling brings me nowhere. I needed you to put your boot up my ass.
And just stop thinking and just do it. Don't think.
Absolutely. Take action. And this is take massive action. The bigger it is, the bigger it scares the shit out of you. And believe me, I fully believe that anytime that I've been scared shitless, and I've said this to you, remember when I signed up with you, I said, fuck, I'm scared shitless, Scott. But I know on the other end, after that fear is going to be massive success. And look at it.
You're
and every time that
weeks in.
Yeah, every time that I've been scared shitless and I pushed through, I was rewarded big time.
I remember when we first chatted and you said, Scott, I want to do a phone call, but I'm busy fixing my website. Let me just fix this up. And the phone call said, we're not even going to use your website. We don't even need it. Get rid of it. And the thought of that for you was crazy. Like, what are you talking about? I've been told by the business coach, I need a website. I need to build a list. And I'm like, no, we don't have to do that stuff. Just follow the actions. But, no. Just commit. You're 100% commit to just following a system. And 4 or 5 weeks in, your turnaround and how you're speaking about this and who you are as a person, just from knowing you before and how we talked before, and just where your business was, I hope you don't mind me saying, it was nothing. It didn't exist. Now look at it. You're an influencer. People are coming to you for your program and signing up on the spot within seconds of launching it.
Yeah. I did so many free sessions and so many, even though my fee was $75, I still discounted so many clients. I still gave them sessions at $25, $40, whatever the case might have been. And none of them bothered. Right? Okay, well, one bothered. Sorry, there was one of them that was willing to give me a testimonial because she had a massive transformation. But out of everybody else, nobody cared to recommend me. Nobody cared to write testimonials. I gave 10 sessions for free to a family that was struggling. And that was a few years ago. They were struggling. And I said, all I want in return is a testimonial. 3 months later, this guy's bank account goes into 7 digits. You didn't care. You didn't give me a testimonial. He said to me, "No, I owe you big time." And I said to him, "You don't owe me big time. I just like the testimonial." And he still didn't bother to write me the testimonial. And I burned out. I really burnt out as a result because of, this is something that I love doing, but I can't do this for free because my phone account can't be paid in kindness. My rent can't be paid in kindness. And I realized that those people that got everything for free and that got everything at discount didn't appreciate what I was doing for them. They didn't appreciate the millions that I'd spent on my training.
Yep, and they never do. That's what discount clients do. It's not the right way to run business. But the sad thing is, that's what trainers tell coaches and therapists to do, and it's not the case. So, you're a prime example of it not working. And the funny thing is, even though it doesn't work, and we can clearly see the data is not working, we still deny and think, well, I'll just do more of it. Maybe that's the answer. I'll get more certifications, more trainings, more this, when that's not the answer. It's the total opposite. Start cutting away the things that aren't bringing results and focus on one program, one service, one price.
Absolutely.
In comparison to what you had before.
Absolutely. It makes it more simple to get your message out there, to get people to sign up, And also there's a psychology behind the fees, Obviously, like I said earlier, the Italian boots, that's the difference, is we're the boutique, with the boutique coaches and therapists, in comparison to the GPs, you taught us to become brain surgeons.
Yep, and that's the message.
Yes, and becoming a brain surgeon enables you to really make a bigger shift for people when they come to you. Much because you know the patterns, you know exactly where you can focus very, very finely on where the issues are, and you can rebuild them as a result, making it faster.
Yep. Because you're essentially working with the same client over and over. You just get highly dangerous as a therapist in the one specific market. But to even narrow down a niche into one type of client is scary for some people, scary for nearly all therapists out there because they don't see the logic behind it. It's illogical, but that's the way it is.
I'm still seeing so many of my friends and colleagues struggling financially. They're coming to me for money. I've had this happen, that they've come to me for money because they're not, and I say to them, specialize, and they don't listen, and they just, all these, they're so trained and so conditioned to fear, you know, niching and specializing, you know, or I've even heard of how some of the business coaches would even go as far as to, you know, reflect their own fears onto their own students, where if somebody wanted to do something in a specific thing, they would say, no, make sure, you know, research this really properly, blah, 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 because their own fears would come out. And I love the fact that you are fearless. You know, you've taught us to be fearless in what we choose to work with and to stick with it.
Yep, just to look at the data. There's no room for emotion, no room for thinking, no room for emotion. If you can come to me showing me the data that a market doesn't work, then I'll help you find another one. But every market will work. We just have to try it. Like you said, you just jump in the deep end and look what happened. Had you not made that decision, you'd still be floundering around doing what you were doing before. It just takes one commitment, one decision to get this done right, and look what happens.
Yeah, I actually I'm scared to even think, if I did not sign up with you, where I would be today. I doubt that I would not have been so fortunate to put myself out there to be where I am today if it wasn't for the fact that I signed up with you. I think I would have been lying in bed right now, sleeping out of depression.
So I'm glad I pissed you off.
Oh, yeah, no, you did. Thank you for that. I think that's about one of the few times where I will say to somebody, thank you for pissing me off. Thank you for making me feel shit.
It's pointing out the truths. You knew the truth, but you're denying it. And all I've done is just showed you what you're denying. And it hurts people, but in a good way, because it's the awakening they need. And look what happened. Look at your business now. It's the awakening.
Well, yeah, you know, and this is it, as I see with my clients too, you know, they obviously get upset and they, you know, hurting from what they're going through. But here's the thing, you know, in order for you must be willing to go through a bit of pain, and then you'll get yourself free and you live the life that you want. I don't know why people are scared of living epic lives.
I'm not sure either. You've only got one of them. May as well make it extremely epic. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, why do you want to carry on fighting when something works? You know, why do you want to carry on, you know, being mediocre? And why do you want to keep yourself in this horrible rut?
Yeah, I think people love the idea of having the life, and they usually have it on the weekend when they know they've got to go back to their job on Monday, but they're not willing to put in the work for a longer consistency than at least 2 or 3 days. Usually people give up after 2 or 3 days, but as you said, you pushed even just for a couple of weeks. But pushing hard for 4 or 5 weeks is just crazy for some people. They wouldn't be able to do it, but it's the only way out of it. This isn't a course where I say it's, you know, push this button and clients will come to you. You guys are working your backsides off. You're working your ass off to do this, but look what happens instantly. Momentum.
And it is actually absolutely. And the weird thing is, when I started getting momentum in one area, it was like I started getting momentum in every single other area. It's like I found that it is. It's everything holds hands, and if you knock down the one, the rest goes.
I agree.
And that's what you said, you know, and it's true. We know that as hypnotists and coaches, once you've knocked down one, the rest goes. So. Yeah, I work my ass off. I really do. And I've had to push through so much fear. It has costed me that when I feel that fear coming in, that I had to go into what I'd been trained to do, to go and do self-hypnosis with myself, to go and meditate, to go and speak to I stand in the mirror, and boy, did I have a fight with myself the one day. I was standing there and I'm going, don't you dare give up. And I was about to say to you, Scott, I think I need to call quits because this is hard. I went to the mirror and I gave myself these sternest talking to,
mm-hmm.
and I pushed through.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
pushed
if you would
through
have,
because
you would have sent me that message, you would have got a thumbs up, and that would have been the last you heard from me. So now when I get your messages, and you know, they used to be like, this is fucking hard, and I'd say just push through. Now they're messages of, how can I grow this? What can I do next? And I want more money. I'm getting this. Every other day I'm getting a message in the group saying, boom, another client, signed up another one, starting this group, starting this. I've got this going on. I've got radio interviews. I'm doing interviews here. I've got collaborations. This stuff was unheard of when I first talked to you. This wasn't even in the realms of possibilities. And you're only 5 weeks in. 5 weeks. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm absolutely flabbergasted at the tremendous shift and change that's happened.
So
you know,
for people watching this, if they're curious about getting on your program or they're after a service that you provide, how could they contact you?
Well, I'm available on Facebook, so if they friend me on Facebook or send me a personal message, they're welcome to get hold of me that way. I mainly just make use of that. Also, if they want to email me, can I give them an email address?
Absolutely. Go for it.
It's Maryke at vitaflow.co.za. It's a little bit difficult, but if Scott, if you don't mind, I'll type it out for you and you can pop it underneath the video.
Yep. Will do. Yep.
But yeah, social media is the best way to get hold of me. A personal message is the best way to get hold of me, and I'll put on everything for Scott underneath the video. So thanks.
Excellent. And I'll make sure I do that. So any last words before we wrap it up? I know it's morning there for you, so you have a big day ahead. It's evening for us, and I've got a big evening ahead. What any last words of wisdom for everybody watching?
One of the best choices I made was signing with you, Scott. And I would, if they're sitting there and they're really struggling financially, you'll make a plan to get the money. But sign up, get onto this program, and be willing to put yourself out there. Be willing to make the big actions. Be willing to fight those fears. But sign up and get yourself a bloody good business coach. That's a recommendation that I can give anybody that's struggling. Really, honestly, get yourself a good business coach, and I consider Scott to be a great business coach. So yeah, just sign up and get to work with it. Stop thinking you don't have the money to sign up for it. Stop thinking that. You know, reach out, talk to Scott. I'm pretty sure that he won't mind, finding a way to help you to get onto his program. You'll get that money back. If you're that hungry, if you're that desperate for the money, you will make a plan. It will come. It will happen. Yeah,
and it's an investment for the long term. That's what's really important.
Absolutely. You know, I said to my mom the other day, you know what? I am doing the work that I'm doing now because I know in the long run, my business is going to last longer than most others out there. Because in 10, 15 years from now, it's going to be an empire. It's not going to little mediocre, little minuscule thing. Right now, I'm digging up the foundations and I'm laying new ones.
Yep, and you're being paid for it, which is the best bit.
Absolutely.
No more freebies.
Nope. No.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for jumping on. I know you've got a busy day ahead, so I'm going to get this video uploaded into all our social media stuff, showing this around because people need to hear your message, and I will put a link at the bottom of the video if people contact you. But Maryke, enjoy the rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you over in the Facebook group, and we'll speak very, very soon. Thanks for jumping on.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks for the wonderful interview, and all the best with your big evening.
My pleasure. Thanks, Maryke. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.